Week 2 is finally here, so let's go ahead and talk matchups, what the managers are doing, who they're playing, and also another match of the week. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Now let's start the show. What's going on, fantasy football folks? Fantasy HYB, and we're back with the Week 2 preview of our league here. Let's get right into the matchups. As always, let's go ahead and start off with the match of the week. All right, so the match of the week here, I did pick Jiraiya 702 and the Pillow King here for the match of the week here. Both 1-0 teams. At the end of this, one of them's going to go 1-1. One of them's going to go 2-0 here. Not a bad place to start. So let's go ahead and break their teams down here. At the quarterback position here, Scotty's running with Kirk Cousins from the Minnesota Vikings, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles here. And on the Pillow King side here, he got Russ Wilson under center. Now, Kirk Cousins looks like he's going to have a pretty good matchup here. OG does have Justin Jefferson, so that's going to help cushion some points. Currently, this is the current lineup that they're having. Now, what you can do is play mind games with your opponent if you guys want to go ahead and do that. I wouldn't be surprised as a last-minute switch. He's going to plug in Jalen Hurts at the very end there. But not a bad place to start there. I mean, the only way Jefferson's going to get points is if Kirk Cousins throws him the ball, which helps cushion that the points which will be had in this game here. Russell Wilson taking on Houston. Now, a couple years ago, there was the phrase, let Russ cook. The only thing that I've seen this past Monday night was Russ was cooking a cup of noodles. That was basically it. But he is at home. He is taking on Houston. It should be a fairly good match. Hopefully, he does put up a lot more points than the previous game here. I mean, he didn't do awfully bad. He was just shy under 20 points. But hopefully, we can see what Russ can do with the points that he's had in the previous years here. Under running back, Saquon Barkley and DeAndre Swift. Now, DeAndre Swift did pop up questionable here with an ankle injury. Didn't seem like he was affected during the game there. But according to this here, he didn't practice on Wednesday. So just keep an eye out for DeAndre Swift throughout the entire week. Saquon Barkley looks like old Saquon Barkley. They are taking on the Carolina Panthers. Carolina does have a pretty good run defense, and the Lions are taking on Washington. And we've seen who did they take on this past weekend? I totally forgot. Brain farted who they played last weekend. Let's jump over to OG here. Dalvin Cook and Darrell Henderson. Now, we did see Darrell Henderson with the opening game against the Bills. He was basically the lead dog there. He didn't do well, but scored under 10 points. So far, Cam Akers is still coming back from his Achilles injury, I believe it was. Dalvin Cook, again, might take away some points from Justin Jefferson here. I mean, that was a pretty stellar game from Justin Jefferson against the Green Bay Packers, but they are taking on the Eagles. I think the Eagles have a pretty good defense there. Up next on the wide receiver position, Cooper Kupp and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown went ham the last time. And Cooper Kupp, we all know Cooper Kupp numbers there. So OG does have a pretty tough task at the wide receiver position, holding Scott to some points there. Again, they're not really on the field, but hoping that they don't blow up on his team here. But on the opposite end, I mean, OG does have Courtland Sutton and Justin Jefferson. Now, the Russell Wilson Sutton stack, that should be a pretty good one if that pulls through. Justin Jefferson, 30-pointer on the last game. I mean, if he does it again, Kirk Cousins will be taking some of that points. So it does negate some of the progress in points that's going to be happening throughout that game there. Robert Tonyan and Mark Andrews at their tight end position. There's really no one other than Alan Lazard, who I'm not too sure if he's going to be in for this game. Just keep an eye out throughout the entire week and see where he's at as far as progressing through. I think he had like an ankle injury as well, or a foot injury, which held him out of Sunday. But Robert Tonyan, Aaron Rodgers needs some more pass catchers, so Robert Tonyan's back up on there. Mark Andrews, pretty good tight end there. I mean, he was the tight end one last season. Didn't do what you would hope for last week, but nonetheless, I mean, you have to play him. You drafted him high. At the flex position, David Montgomery and DJ Moore. I mean, Montgomery right now, he's looking good, but then the game against San Fran was just a torrential downpour. We don't know on an actual dry field, so we get to see that against Green Bay this coming Sunday. They do have this Sunday night game, so we get to see the utilization of David Montgomery. We did see Khalil Herbert on there pretty frequently from when I was watching, so maybe they're going with the 1-2 punch approach as opposed to having David Montgomery as the lead dog there, taking all the snaps, all the touches. But that should keep Montgomery healthy throughout the entire year. I'm not too sure if that's going to be the approach that the Chicago Bears will be doing. DJ Moore against the New York Giants. Not bad for a flex position. I don't think there's anybody else on his bench which he can probably plug in. ETN maybe, but they're going up against Indy. Other than that, kickers Brandon McManus and Chris Boswell. He did have Harrison Butker, who is out for Thursday's game. So Chris Boswell, I mean, they are playing at home. Boswell does really good at home. Bengals defense against Dallas. I mean, Dallas is pretty banged up everywhere right now. So the Bengals defense should be a pretty smash play. Pittsburgh against New England. Another pretty good pick at the defense position. I believe Mac Jones is having some back issues. And the New England offense... the New England offense is not the same without Tom Brady. All right, let's jump over to our next matchup here. Let's go over to Venus Sky and COVID-49 here. But both 0-1 teams. I mean, one of you guys will end up breaking in at 1-1. Other one will be going 0-2. Will probably remain at the very bottom at the end of this matchup here. At the quarterback position, Lamar Jackson. I think Caesar got scared off of playing Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is playing Chicago. I mean, according to Aaron Rodgers, he owns the Bears. So maybe, I mean, that's a pretty tough position here. We all know what Aaron Rodgers can do. He can put up some massive numbers. Same as Lamar Jackson. He is taking on the Miami Dolphins at home. But, I think in this setup here, I think I'll probably play Lamar Jackson. I think he is a safer option. Matt Stafford against Atlanta, coming off of a loss here. That should be a pretty good play. I mean, I think the Rams would want to get back to Super Bowl form. So hopefully the elbow is good. I mean, he's not popping up on any of the injured list here. But just a pretty down week. Hopefully you can get that back up again against Atlanta. I mean, yeah. Cordero Patterson and Ezekiel Elliott at the running back position for Venus Sky. And Kenyon Drake and Leonard Fournette here for John. Now, Leonard Fournette is questionable here. Did pop up with an injury. Hamstring. Hammy. Kenyon Drake, I mean, did let go from the Raiders. Picked up by Baltimore. But, I think he's going to spell Mike Davis for a bit until J.K. Dobbins gets back. Cordero Patterson, Old Man Patterson, Receiver Patterson. I mean, he did stellar once again. But they are taking on the LA Rams. Unless they're down, I believe he's going to be getting a lot of pass catching work. Ezekiel Elliott now. Again, offensive line struggles. I feel like Ezekiel Elliott is the better back in Dallas. But Tony Pollard is back there to spell some of the work away from him. Up next on the wide receiver position, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk for Venus Sky, and Jarvis Landry and Deebo Samuel over on COVID 49's team. Once again, CeeDee Lamb will have Cooper Rush as his quarterback here. You know, to be honest, I think CeeDee Lamb will be fine. I think he'll be fine. It seems if he's the top receiver there, I mean, throw the ball to your most gifted receivers. Brandon Ayuk will be playing the number 2 wide receiver. The divisional game against Seattle. They are playing at home, so maybe a pretty good play. I mean, Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton did pretty decent. I mean, Jerry Jeudy had the better game. Courtland Sutton was all right. But on the opposite end, on John's team there, Jarvis Landry and Deebo Samuel. Now, Jarvis did pretty well in the last game as well, too. I mean, he had 114 receiving yards there. So now there's Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, and Michael Thomas as well, too. They are taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another divisional matchup there. I mean, if he keeps it up, I mean, that's some pretty good stat line there. Deebo Samuel, we all know what Deebo Samuel can do. Drafted high, catches touchdowns, gets all the yards, rushing as well. So I think he's going to have a pretty tremendous game here. Now the battle of the tight ends. Pretty stellar tight end matchup here. Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. Of course, Zeus is, Zeus be Zeus. That guy is tight end 1 for a reason. And Darren Waller, I mean, Devontae Adams is just taking up all the targets over there. But, Darren Waller still hanging around. Still a monster in the Las Vegas lineup there. I mean, he scored under 10 points against the Chargers. They are taking Arizona, who gave Patrick Mahomes 0 pressure on the last game. So hopefully he has a pretty good game there. Up next on the flex position, Dameon Pierce and Chase Claypool. Now, who would I play? Maybe. Oh, that seems like a better play against Denver. I mean, Rashad Penny did a job. I mean, it wasn't like he scored like 100 rushing yards against Denver, but nonetheless, I'll probably play maybe Chris Olave instead of Dameon Pierce. I mean, Rex Burkhead is still there, so it's not exactly guaranteed that he's gonna get the the lead role at the running back position there in Houston. Chase Claypool, I mean, how did he do last week? He had he had just under 8 points. Not too bad for a flex position. Kickers, Younghoe Koo, kicker number 1, I believe, right? Yep, kicker number 1 scored a massive 18 points at the kicker position, which is huge if you can get that kind of numbers at the kicker position. Robbie Gould, I'll just chuck this one up to bad weather. I mean, can you really kick in a puddle? Probably not. Dallas Cowboys defense and the Niners defense, pretty middle of the road defense plays there. Other than that, let's go ahead and jump over to our next matchup here. We got Cracker Killers against Autumn Wind. You got Team Paul and Team Mark here. Once again, 2 0-1 teams. One of these guys will be walking out 1-1, and the other will be at the very bottom at 0-2. At the quarterback position, Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes here. Similar to what we had last week on an actual NFL field. This week will be on the fantasy field here. Kyler Murray, he did pretty well last week. 24 points. I mean, that's not a bad number at the quarterback position here. But you are taking on Patrick Mahomes. You need some more upside because this guy can throw. He threw for 5 touchdowns last week, and they are taking on the Chargers on a Thursday night game with a very high over-under. I believe right now it's currently at 54 points. So points are to be had on the Thursday game. On opportunity at the running back position. I mean, Derrick Henry, that guy can put up a 30-burger almost any time here against Buffalo. Didn't he do that last season when they played? Yeah, maybe. Alvin Kamara did pop up on the questionable here. He has some rib issues. He was a limited participant. Now, they did re-sign Latavius Murray, so I'm not too sure how that's going to affect Alvin Kamara as well. If he was fine, they wouldn't sign another running back. If he's not fine, I don't know why they would add another piece there, unless the rib issue is, more severe than we're thinking of. So they might need another backup. I mean, you got Mark Ingram there as well. Over on Mark's team, you got Nick Chubb and Antonio Gibson for his running backs. Nick Chubb should have a pretty good game here, taking on the New York Jets. I mean, he did pretty well last week. Double-digit points, almost 15 points, 14.8. So he should do fairly well here. I mean, they are going to lean on the run with the Kevin Stefanski offense there. The 1-2 punch of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So that should be a pretty good matchup right there. Antonio Gibson's taking on Detroit. I believe everybody can run on Detroit, so Antonio Gibson should be a pretty smash play this week. Let's jump over to wide receivers. Tyreek Hill and Christian Kirk over on Cracker Killer's team here. Tyreek Hill, once again, all he does is just get behind defenses and just catches the long ball. So he should be a pretty good play there. Against Baltimore, though, I mean, that seems like it's a pretty tough matchup. Christian Kirk against Indy, divisional game. Wild things tend to happen during divisional games. So Christian Kirk, he did really, really well last week. I mean, double-digit points, 14, almost 15 points, 117 receiving yards. Are there any other receivers out there in Jacksonville that can catch passes? I mean, I believe Christian Kirk is one of the top guys there. I mean, I think Marvin Jones is still hanging around, but Trevor Lawrence is going to have to throw the ball to somebody, right? And over on the on Autumn Wins team, Davante Adams. Of course, Davante Adams is Davante Adams. Smash play every week. You drafted him high. You're going to play him as such. Terry McLaurin taking on the Detroit Lions. I mean, Carson Wentz threw for 4. So Terry McLaurin should be a pretty smash play this week as well, taking on Detroit. Up next on the tight end position here, you got Pat Freiermuth and Dallas Goedert. Freiermuth just snuck in double-digit points. I think it was a straight even 10. They are taking on New England at home. And Mitch Trubisky needs a safety blanket. Freiermuth is there for him. Is there anything else that I'm missing on this one? Yeah. And, sorry. Lost my train of thought there. All right. Over on Mark's team here, Dallas Goedert for the Philly Eagles. Once again, they are taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Did fairly well last week. I mean, if you're not the top 3 tight ends, I mean, you're basically looking from, I'd say, 5 to 7 points with a pray to the football gods for a touchdown. So he had 7 points last week. He is the tight end 13 of the week, or the current tight end number 13. So tight end 2. Over on the flex position, you got Damian Harris and Josh Jacobs, both backs at the flex position here. Damian Harris, I believe Ty Montgomery is out on IR for the next 4 weeks or so. So it's only going to be Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. So that should bring up his upside just a little bit more. They don't have to worry about a third back unless they sign someone in the middle of this week here. Josh Jacobs wasn't drafted very high, but they are taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Sorry, my foot itches. My foot is itching just a little bit. Hold on. They're taking on the Arizona Cardinals again. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, my dude. he did well. I mean, he scored 20 points. And then the game got out of hand. Isaiah Pacheco also did really well in that game too. So Josh Jacobs might have a really good game. Pretty smash play this week as well. Daniel Carlson and Will Lutz over at the kicker position. And the Colts defense taking on Jacksonville. And the Bills defense taking on Tennessee. Both pretty decent picks for the defense position. Over on Paul's team, maybe I would play Kareem Hunt against the Jets instead of Damian Harris. This is just commissioner's takes. I'll go ahead and just put that up there. Marquise Brown. It's a pretty interesting one as well. I think he scored a touchdown last week, right? Yes, he did. 43 points. 43 yards and a touchdown there. No DeAndre Hopkins. So figures to actually catch some passes there. Against Las Vegas, I mean, we've seen Justin Herbert throw for 3 there. So Marquise Brown, very talented receiver. Over on Mark's team, maybe the Rams against Atlanta. As far as defense against the Bills, never count the Bills out there. Let's go over and jump over to our next matchup here, match number 3. Let's have a look at our current champion. Where are you? 49ers for life. Taking on Team Ooks, Mikey. Both 1-0 teams. This figures to be a pretty interesting match. Let's see if the champ can hold on to a 2-game win streak here at the quarterback position. Thomas Brady taking on the New Orleans Saints there. Divisional matchup on the road. I forgot what the stat was. But Tom Brady does not do well on the road as a Buck, is what I remember hearing. So we'll see how he plays this week. I mean, it's always hard to count out Tom Brady because that guy can just, that guy's going to play until he's 50. And then on the opposite end there, on Mike's team, you'd have Josh Allen. Of course, Josh Allen, I think he's quarterback number 2. Yep, quarterback number 2 for the week there. I mean, against Tennessee on a very pass-happy offense. Plus, he has the legs to run as well. So that should be a pretty good quarterback play there. James Conner and Najee Harris over on 49ers for life. 49ers for life's running backs there. Joe Mixon and Jonathan Taylor. 2 smash players over on Team Mikey's team there. I mean, we don't really have to say too much about those 2 gentlemen. Najee Harris is questionable. I think he has a foot injury as well. Was it Liz Frank? Was that Liz Frank injury? I forgot what it was. But he got injured. Did not play in the overtime possession. So we'll go ahead and monitor him throughout the entire week there. James Conner is taking on Las Vegas. I believe he has 8 straight games with a rushing touchdown. So maybe he's going to make it 9 this week against Las Vegas. Austin Eckler did not get in against the Raiders, and they are playing in Vegas. So, I mean, James Conner should be a pretty decent play there. Over on the wide receiver position, Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamar Chase once again. Jamar Chase doing Jamar Chase things. Good for 20, in my opinion. Amon-Ra taking on the Washington defense there. I mean, he's good. He's good. He's a good dude. Won a bunch of people fantasy championships last year. Late in the season last year, came out. Just torched. Won people championships. Over on Mikey's team here. Sorry, there's a nice glare here. Let me position that right there. Nope. Okay. We'll fix this later. Over on the wide receivers for Mike's team there, Mike Evans and Jalen Waddle. I think Jalen Waddle was on his bench last week, who scored some nice points. And Chris Godwin and Alan Lazard are both questionable. So Jalen Waddle's another good receiver. I mean, yeah, I think I'd plug him in. Over on the tight end position here, Thursday night game, Gerald Everett should be a pretty good play against Kansas City. I want every piece of this game here. Any game that has a huge, massive over-under, I want something from that game if I can get it. So I have like 3 of them, which I'm 4 of them. So I'm going all in on that game there. Gerald Everett caught a touchdown from Justin Herbert last week. Tight end 4. Currently, Dalton Schultz. I mean, Cooper Rush is going to need his little safety blanket. Pretty good pass catching tight end. Scored just under 10 points, so he should be a pretty decent play there. At the flex position, DK Metcalf and Miles Sanders. Divisional game for DK, and Miles Sanders is taking on Minnesota. DK, probably expected a little bit more, more than just 5 points, but Denver defense, we look pretty good. I think as far as currently right now, the Denver defense looked okay. Not the Super Bowl. I mean, I miss you, Vaughn. I miss you, Von Miller. Damn. The Bills defense looks really good with Von Miller on there. Miles Sanders scored a touchdown last week, but all the running backs in Philly scored a touchdown last week. Maybe he'll get 2, or maybe he'll get 0. We'll see. Evan McPherson for the kicker. Tyler Bass for Mike's team as a kicker. Saints defense taking on Tampa Bay. Now, this is a strategy which I do not like, is having the quarterback or any offensive player taking on my defense, because once they score, I mean, that just kind of just breaks even. So 6 points will go to one of my players, but 6 points will come off of my defense. So it's the first opening defense points there. It just negates it just a little bit. So yeah, unless they score a pick 6 off of Tom Brady. I mean, didn't the Saints do that last year? They just gave Brady just a difficult. What is that? That might have been 2 years ago. I totally forgot which years it was. I think so. That was their Super Bowl run. Yeah. The Packers taking on Chicago. Should be a pretty good one. Chicago is going to Green Bay. Let's go ahead and check out your bench here and see if there's any other players who I may plug in. Maybe James Robinson. I mean, I know Travis Etienne is there, but James Robinson looks like he beat his Achilles injury. I mean, almost 20 points. The Sanford over DK. We'll see more about Najee. I mean, if Najee is out, James Robinson looks like a pretty good sub for 49ers for Life's team. You got Drake London or AJ Dillon. Would I sub anybody? Probably not. I think that looks fine. All right, let's go jump into match number 4 here. Who did I not cover? Oh, wait. I think so. That's it. All right. So match number 5 comes down to me and Ed, King Pilonitis, and Still Lurking. Once again, I'll go over my roster here. I am all in on this. I mean, I have no choice. I mean, I'm basically all in for this Thursday night game here with the Chargers and the Chiefs in Arrowhead here with a huge over-under. I have a bunch of people on my team here that is either a Charger. If not, then I have Edwards-Helaire as a Chief. So let's run through this real quickly. Quarterback positions, Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow had a pretty good game. I mean, but he was kind of down points. I mean, he had a lot of turnovers. I think he lost a fumble. So if he played perfectly, he would have had more than just 26 points. He probably would have had, I think, about 30-ish points. Justin Herbert is Justin Herbert. I mean, I'm gonna need some points, my man. Austin Eckler and Javonte Williams over on King Pilonitis' team. Aaron Jones and Jeff Wilson. This is the lineup that he's going with here. Jeff Wilson, Elijah Mitchell will be out for a couple months, I believe. I think he's out for a couple months. So Jeff Wilson seems to be the next man up over on San Fran. They are taking on Seattle. Aaron Jones should have had a more productive week last time. AJ Dillon was basically catching everything out of the backfield there. But Aaron Jones, I mean, that guy can be a receiver as well too. Austin Eckler did not find the end zone last week, just shy of 10 points, 9.2 points last week. Hopefully this week he gets into the end zone. I'm hoping it's a receiving touchdown so I can get double points because I'm gonna need it. Javonte Williams taking on Houston. We've seen what Jonathan Taylor can do, but Jonathan Taylor does not typically have another back behind him. I mean, Nyheim Hines is there, but Javonte Williams, there is Melvin Gordon lurking in the back as well. I believe Melvin Gordon had more rushing attempts, but Javonte had more receiving yards, which is why he had 14. Yeah, he had more receiving yards. I mean, he probably would have had closer to 16, 17 points had he not, come down with fumbleitis at the 1 yard line. Same as Melvin Gordon. Jeez, guys. Come on. We need a win. We're taking on Houston at home. Let Russ cook. Give me a gourmet meal at Mile High. I don't want a cup of noodles. Over on the wide receiver position, Mike Williams and Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman landed on the questionable list here. Limited quad injury. You'll be fine. Taking on Jacksonville at Jacksonville, divisional game there. He did really well last week against Houston. I'm hoping he does really good against Jacksonville this week. Mike Williams gave me 2 points a doo-doo last week. So, I mean, Keenan Allen is officially ruled out for this game. So that means things should open up for Mike Williams. I know DeAndre Carter's there. You got Gerald Everett, Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton. You have a lot of people catching balls from Justin Herbert. So hopefully Mike Williams will get more than just 2 points. Hopefully he catches, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what I'm hoping for. But, we can only hope. Over on Still Lurking's team here, he is still going with the receiver stack over on the Buffalo Bills, Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. They did really, really well. This is a Monday doubleheader game, so they do have the 1 o'clock game. Wow. You guys have a Thursday game, and then you guys have a Monday game. You basically had like a bye week. You guys should be very well rested for the Tennessee Titans, which is not good for me. At the tight end position here, Kyle Pitts over on Still Lurking's team and Cole Kmet. I'm still running with Cole Kmet. I'm going to chalk week 1's torrential downpour in Chicago as an outlier. He goosed my team. But other than that, I mean, who else was catching passes out there in a huge rainstorm, slip and slide puddles at Soldier Field? I mean, hopefully he gets it right this week. Once again, I need my guys to come out with a W there. Kyle Pitts, big dude, taking on the Rams at SoFi. So they are traveling all the way to the west. That's a long travel. But Kyle Pitts is Kyle Pitts. He can put up some massive numbers. And can I check out stats from last season? I think he did really well. Let's check out some 2021 stats here. I mean, against the Jets, he put up 22 points. More towards the end there, at least, pretty decent, almost 10 pointers against Detroit, 13. So Kyle Pitts can put up some numbers. And at the flex position here, another Thursday night piece, I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He did score 2 touchdowns, and then the game got out of hand. So I don't know exactly the full utilization of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Once they pulled all the starters, I mean, you got Isaiah Pacheco that was on the field as well. So we'll see how his utilization will be this Thursday. I'm hoping that he gets more usage, goes for a rushing touchdown. You know, yeah, I can only pray for points right now. Christian McCaffrey, pretty down week last week. Well, never mind. I'm sorry. I mean, down week from a Christian McCaffrey week. That's what I'm trying to say. That I mean, he didn't put up the massive 30-pointer, but he did put up 13 double-digit points there. Ryan Suckup as my kicker, and Greg Joseph as still Lurkin's kicker. Suckup did really well last week, put up some double-digit points. Same as Greg Joseph. So they are taking, what is now kicker 3. All right, and my kicker is also ranked number 3. So pretty evenly matched there. I am still sticking with my Denver Broncos defense taking on Houston. I think that's a pretty decent matchup there. We are playing at home, hungry for a W. Hopefully we can get some sacks. I didn't hear Bradley Chubb's name as much in the Seattle game. Hopefully, you know, we can get something going on defense there. No interceptions from Pat Surtain. I mean, he kind of contained DK just a little bit, you know. The Bucks defense as well over on still Lurkin's team, taking on New Orleans. You know, Jameis can throw interceptions, so there is that. Other than that, let's see here. If I am scared off of Mike Williams, Jerry Jeudy might be my next play against Houston. Against Houston. That is one decision which I am trying to go with right now. Michael Thomas is there too. Once again, a divisional game, put up huge numbers last week. So that is another decision which I can put in. But once again, I'm all in on this Thursday game. I mean, I basically have 4 players on my entire roster here. So we'll see if Thursday is a huge success. Should come out with a W. If all of my players doo-doo, I'm basically cashing out for the entire weekend. I'm just watching everyone else's game. I won't even pay attention to mine. Any other players on Ed's team here? No, none which I would have interest in subbing in. Maybe Jeff Wilson. I mean, if you plug Christian McCaffrey into the starter position and then flex out maybe Smith-Schuster for that Thursday night matchup as well. I mean, once again, high over-unders. I do want pieces of that game. Tyler Algier also did pretty well. No, he did not. I'm sorry. He was inactive on Sunday's game. Sorry. Who am I thinking of? Nobody. Total massive brain fart there. And on my reserve list, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins still on suspension. I'm going to have to wait patiently for his return. Hopefully that's going to make a nice impact on my team here. Other than that, that is it, I believe. Let me just go ahead and double check that I covered everyone's game here. Yes. Once again, that is it for the preview video. Do me a favor, if you guys have not done so, go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment right down below. Let me know who you're playing, who you are excited for, who you have questions of, anything. So leave it right down in the comments. I'll get right to it. Once again, give the business, handle the business. I'll see you guys back next time with the recap video. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching.